Well, hey there, thanks for stopping by, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Robbie Greer from Rusticated-Art, and this is Fun Times Family Art, where you get to draw along with me from the comfort of your own home. Now this week, we're drawing the final part of how to draw stones. Now be sure to watch through to the end, because not only will I be giving you all the tips and techniques that I've learned along the way, but I'm also going to be giving a shout out to another very special channel. So what do you reckon? You ready to get started? Come on then. Now all I've done here is just blocked it in. What I want to do is just now, let's look at doing some detail. Remembering that with stones and pebbles and things, they don't have to be all a perfect shape or anything by any means, because they're not. So here I'm just going to go and put a little bit of a jagged sort of an edge on here, and look, and see what happens. I'll use my blending brush, and I'm just going to just gently go over those lines, look, just softly. And that's really what it's all about, is just gently, just going over it just lightly. And all you're doing is you're just manipulating the graphite. See, the more times I go over it, the smoother it's going to get. And I want that to look, you know, the edges to look really rounded. And all I'm doing really is just following. So if you look very closely, and I know I keep saying it, but it's true, if you just follow what you've done, and you'll see that there's little imperfections, little marks that you've made, and they're not intentional. You know, they're there because of the pencil, the paper, and that's what I use just to make the drawing look as realistic as I can. And that's all you need. And I use my Tombow, and I just want to sharpen that up a little bit. You can give it even more of a finer edge. See, that's really sharp there. A Stanley knife or one of these craft knives, just use it. A pair of scissors will do it. So, and that'll enable me to just take out some even more finer lines. Like, for example, here, I'm following. If you look closely, you'll see. I'll just draw it in again. There's sort of a line there. It's like a little crack or a fissure or something, whatever the word is. So what I want to do is just go in there and just take a little bit out. See how that creates another sort of a texture? And you just do it gently. That's what you need to do. I've virtually done it all, but I just wanted to show you it doesn't have to be hard. You know, some people get put off. They think, oh, it's too hard trying to do stones and rocks, but it's not. It's just another shape. Now, what I would suggest though is to go into Pixabay, find yourself an image that you're quite keen to draw. If it's going to be rocks or stones or pebbles, keep it small. In front of me at the moment, on my screen, I have a big picture of a whole lot of stones. There's nothing like this, but I can go and I'll look at one and go, oh, that'll look quite interesting. I might just try and do something a little bit like that. Get the darks and the lights and the mediums, and that's all it is. So that's all we're doing. Now, we've virtually done all this. You know, it's one of these drawings, once again, where you can put as much in it or as little in it as you choose. It's up to you. And it's also, like I said previously, it's one of those drawings also where you just come back to it. Don't try and do it all at once. Just come back to it. Think, oh, you know, when it might be, can't think of anything to draw. Well, these are good ones to have just in your sketchbook, your visual diary. They don't have to be all smooth. I just like them smooth because, well, that's my preference. I just love smooth stones. And all I'm doing is I've put down the underdrawing, laid down the graphite, and I've gone in different directions. Like, for example, I haven't always just gone up and down. I've gone like in circular motions as well, because that's going to give it a different texture. And for example, this one here, we can have that so it's on its edge. So by making it darker on the outside like this, because the darker it is, that means the further away it is. And just soften it all up. We're giving it a different texture there as well. Now if it's on top, in most cases you're going to end up with there's going to be a shadow. It'll cast a shadow. Keep it simple. And as you come back to this drawing, then you can start putting in more detail, you know, different textures, different shapes. But to start with, don't worry too much about doing that. I'm just going to go to my wood pencil here, 4B, just a bit softer. The mechanical pencil is great, but when I want to do a little bit more shading, great for detail, but shading, I prefer to use my wood case pencils. It's going to be darker in there. Yeah, so don't try and do too much detail. Just like this is just basic. You know, come back to it, and then you'll see other things that you can put in. I'm getting a bit all over the place here because I just love doing this sort of thing. This to me is like doodling, except that we're, you know, it is a drawing of something. But you know, it is a real drawing. I'm not saying doodling is not a real drawing, but I love to doodle when I'm just want to just chill out. You know, where the outcome doesn't matter. It's just a form of expression. And you'll find as you're going along, one will overlap the other, you know, and that's where you just come in and you'll just see it as you're going along. Don't expect to be able to do it straight away. And by that I mean, when we're drawing any form of art really, or realistic art, it doesn't just, you don't just put your pencil out and do it. There's always layers. You build it up. You start with the pencil, the outline. Then you start doing this, you're putting in the underdrawing. And then we start getting a bit more detail. You know, so it's a process. Very enjoyable process. I find it to be very enjoyable. I love it. See how we've got this hard line here? We don't want that, but we've got to have a line to work to. Now we just slowly blend that out. There's no lines as such in nature, you know, or anything. It's just that there has to be a beginning and an end. So to draw it, to capture that, we have to put in lines, but we don't want to see lines. And the way we get around that is we just blend to it. Just do our lines quite light. And when they get a little bit too prominent, like for example that one there, I'll just go in there with my needle bit eraser or my blue tack and just tap it out a little bit. Yeah. So you can make it darker, but you just don't want to see an actual line. So we blend or we shade to the line. And we just go in there with our blending brush. We're going backwards and forwards just like that. So you can have a lot of fun. And if you're following along, and I hope you are, just take your time, pause often. Don't sit and draw for any longer than 45 minutes. An hour tops, because that time goes so fast. You can sit there. I've done it myself. I've sat there and I've been drawing away there, and like I'm talking like 2 or 3 hours later. In fact, that happens quite often. So I try to remember to put my timer on, and that will tell me it's time to have a little break. My physio said to me, not that I go to one now, but I used to, and she said to me, movement is medicine. And I've always remembered that. And the graphite tends to go everywhere. That's right. Tap it out. Mostly on the bottom and on the left. Because of the fact that I'm left-handed, I tend to work from right to left. Anyway, that's virtually the drawing done, like I was saying. However, I've put an extra stone in here and just drawn it in over the top there like that. Now, the purpose of doing it, what I want to do is just show you, because this is sort of pretty standard, you know, like it's generic. But I thought, well, what if we want to just change one of the stones and to make it look, it's on a different angle, like for example that one there sort of got the edge side. So I thought that's what we'll do with this one here. I'm just going to go and Start off, we're just going to go around the edge. And in most cases, not always, but the darker something is, the further away it is. And we use that, for example, especially when we're drawing in graphite, because we don't have colour, so we have to find other ways to make a three-dimensional image. So that's why we do use dark and lights for that purpose, to create depth, creating that contrast. And then I'll go in there with my blending stump, and it's just lightly, it's always lightly, never push hard. Right, this is really just a basic way of doing it. And as you get more experience at doing it, you'll find other ways, like for example, this one here for example. See how I've done that so that it looks like it's on its side. Now what I'm going to do here is just go with my blue tack. So that's sort of pretty even. But that's, you get the idea of how to do it. It might be a little bit dark. It's a bit hard to see under the lights. I'll see it better once I start to edit, but we just made that one a little bit darker anyway. Now the other thing, I've noticed in the stones, there's one there that, and I might just do it in here. And it's, for some reason, it's got a little circle in it. And so what we're going to do to give that a little bit of depth, we'll just make it a bit darker in there. It's a little bit of how we do water drops. If you haven't seen water drops, I do have a lesson, a tutorial on water drops in my Fun Times Family Art playlist, but I'll leave a link to my playlist anyway. And now that sort of softens it up. We just soften it up a bit around here. So it's not a hard line, but it's, I don't know how well it's coming out. Like I say, it's very hard for me to actually see properly under the lights. I may have to do a little bit of it off camera to be able to see it properly. Just really gently doing this. Now, that's basically it. And the last thing to do really is to go in and put the darks in. And the darks are what's going on here, And like I say, you'll always find something else. There always will be. And of course there's other things you can do. You can take little bits out here and there. I use my electric eraser. Sometimes I've got little dots in them. Once I've done this, I'm going to go back over it and blend it. So they're not so stark. Well, I think you get the idea of it. And if you've been drawing along, I'd love to see your work. And if you have any questions whatsoever about doing your own, you're not too sure about something, leave them in the description. We're going to have to leave it there. Alright, well, there you go. That's how you do little stones and pebbles, and the same techniques apply to rocks. Oh, here we go again. And if you just do like that there, that's another example of how to put a little indentation into the stone or the rock. Just like that. And just give that a quick blend. Alright, that's us. Now that wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember, drawing is all about building layers, and we start off by doing the outline, and then we do the underdrawing, and then we put in the detail. So it's a matter of laying down graphite, taking some out, blending it, putting it back, and we slowly build it up. And it's not a race, it's just a journey. So take your time, pause often. If you like what you're seeing, now's a good time to give me a like, give me a thumbs up. Share it with your friends and leave a comment. And like I keep saying, if you have any questions whatsoever about the drawing today, leave it in the comments below. I'm here to help you any way I can. Now you're going to love this week's shout out. Alright, so this week the shout out goes to Fifth and Overland, and the channel is owned or run by Jessie Rogers, and she is hilarious. I love her style. She does so many collaborations, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy. She does it in such a way that it involves a lot of the channels that I follow as well, but it's like they're acting, and there's little skits and plays, and it's just hilarious. She did an interview with Barbara Wheeling, the numerologist, the tombstone tea, the Victorian dinner party, that's had me cracking up the whole way through it. Name the channel. She's very, very clever. I just really enjoy watching all of her videos. I've got a lot more to see yet. Oh, she does the tarot with Maggie Clark, essential oils. Oh, she even works with psychic. Oh no, you've got to jump over here and have a look at her channel, because I'll tell you what, you're going to enjoy it. I just love her sense of humour and all the collabs that she does. I'm surprised she's only a small channel. I'm surprised she hasn't got a lot more subscribers. So jump over there and have a look. Tell her Robbie sent you from Rusticated Art, and I know she'll really love to see you. And if you haven't yet subbed and you'd like to, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, that way you'll get notified and you'll never miss another video. And if you'd like to learn how to draw, then this video I'm going to leave over here is the one for you. It's my playlist, Fun Times Family Art. Well, that's about it for this week. I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay safe out there, my friends, and we'll see you in the next one.